Well, hi, Tammy. How are you doing today?
I am doing great. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for agreeing to meet with me. I saw your story on Facebook and I thought I have to reach out to this person and let her tell her story. It's so inspiring.
Oh, thank you. I'm excited to be here to share it.
Yeah. So,
Very
why don't you
excited.
just start and tell us about your journey?
Okay. It started about 3 years ago. I went to the doctor and I was heavy, overweight, over 200 pounds. And I had my annual physical and was told at that time that I had a fatty liver. My triglycerides were through the roof. I was pre-diabetic. I was like right there on the edge. And that kind of scared me. And
Yeah.
I knew, well, and not only that, I was miserable.
Really?
I was teaching. I had been, teaching um, about that time. And the stress of teaching and eating and not not taking care of myself, and my back constantly hurt. I'd go home because I was on my feet all day and my back would hurt, and it was just, you go home and you're mentally exhausted, and then you just don't even think about what you have to do to kind of, improve yourself and change your ways. But after I went to the doctor and he told me that, I was like, something's got to give. So I went home, and that day I just started kind of watching what I was eating.
That
I
day.
said, okay, I'm
Wow.
going to start slow. Yeah, it was pretty because my diabetes runs in my family, and I think I was in denial that it would ever touch me. And so that was kind of like, oh, I have to do something. And so I started to watching what I ate and just started walking. And once I started doing that, the scale started to move a little bit.
Were, were
And it was
you
encouraging.
were you exercising at all in your life?
You
Okay.
know what? My
Wow.
whole life, my weight up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And exercise, you know, sporadically, I would have times where I would exercise and I would stop, and so no, I wasn't regularly exercising. And so I just started walking. The scale started to move. And I'm like, okay, this is working. So then what I started to do was I downloaded my Fitness Pal
Mhm.
on my phone, and I started tracking what I was eating. So I was kind of counting calories. And so I started doing that. And I just kind of randomly picked a number. I think it was 12 to 1500 calories. And so I started tracking my calories, and I kept walking, and the scale kept moving down. So it was a very slow process. And I did that for about 6 months. And then I was actually, after I started walking, I started lifting weights in my garage. Um, so I was kind of embarrassed to go to the gym, just because I was just so out of shape. But I bought a book called The New Rules of Lifting for Women. I read that about weightlifting and started lifting weights in my garage, and that, things started to progress more and more. And then about 6 months, I dropped about 50 pounds on my own,
How much?
just continuing to do that. 50 pounds
50 pounds in the 6 months?
in the 6 months.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Which,
Okay.
yeah. Which I now know that was probably a little bit too quick, but I just, when you start losing weight, you get motivated and you want to push harder. So
Yeah.
I did that. But I really wasn't seeing, like, I was losing the weight, but I wasn't seeing like my physique changing. Like, I was lifting weights, and I kind of wanted to take it to the next level. So I decided, okay, I'm going to reach out to a coach and get a little bit more help with that. And so I found an amazing coach online, and I work with her remotely. And she started helping me count macros.
Okay.
So I kicked it up a notch, went from just counting calories to tracking my macros, to getting more specific about the foods I'm eating. And she started creating workouts for me. And so it just kind of snowballed from there. I just started working with her. I would have to check in weekly. I would have to log all my food, show her that, my macros that were, I was counting them correctly, choosing the right food. So there was an accountability with a coach as well. And I just started working with her, and it just progressed and kind of snowballed from there. And it's just been, that I didn't think I was capable of doing, at my age, because, women, I grew up menopause, this evil thing, and it's not fun. And that, it's kind of life is over once you hit menopause, you kind of get that idea growing up,
Yeah.
But it's not true,
Were you having menopausal symptoms? Were you having menopausal
not
symptoms?
at that time.
You weren't.
Not,
okay.
Like when I first started, no, that's not true, because at that appointment, that's when the doctor told me, yeah, you're starting menopause.
Oh,
because
okay.
I had a hysterectomy due to some fibroids. And so I didn't have the normal where your period stops and you kind of you're in menopause, but my hormones were showing that I was in that, starting to go through that phase. So yeah, I was, and I have symptoms. I still have symptoms. I don't take any hormone replacement. I chose not to go that route. And I have symptoms, really bad insomnia, kind of brain fog. But I think with the weight loss and the exercise and the eating right, I think that's helped me manage it, without having to, go to any hormone replacement. I think it would be a lot worse if I was heavy.
Right. Right.
So I just kind of, started working with her. And at one point she recommended that I do a transformation class in a bodybuilding show. And I was like, what? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go on stage in front of a bunch of people I don't know, She's like, you should do it. You should do it. And my body was changing. And I was really excited about how, things were changing. So I did that. And she kind of convinced me along the way, well, you should do a figure category, which means getting into a bikini. I was like, oh, no. Because the transformation class would have just been like, workout shorts in a sports bra kind of thing. And she's like, no, you should do that. So she kind of chipped away at me, you could do this, you can do this. So I'm like, all right, I figured I trust her. I go, you're not going to steer me wrong. And she's like, no. So she helped me prepare for that. Yeah. And at 53, I walked across the stage in front of a bunch of strangers in a bikini.
Oh my God.
And I never wore bikinis.
How did you feel doing that?
So my confidence. Huh?
How did you feel doing that?
You know what? The biggest thing was my confidence. Like, I'm a kind of person that doesn't like a lot of attention put on them. I'm kind of an introvert. I just don't like that. So the fact that I pushed myself out of my comfort zone, way out of my comfort zone, did amazing things for my confidence. I like, if I can do that, I can pretty much do anything, because that was huge for me. My husband was he was stunned. He was like, I can't believe you did that, but he was proud of me, but he was like, cause he knew my personality, that the fact that you did that says a lot. Yeah. If you would have told me that 5 years ago, that you would walk across the stage in a bikini at 53, I would have laughed. I said, there's no way. There's possibly no way, but I did it.
I saw the photos and you look amazing.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, I just can't believe that you're motivated to do that and do it. And you threw yourself out of your comfort zone.
And it was hard to do, but once you do it and you reach, and I've also never been really a goal, like, making goals was never, never something I did. But that's another thing that I learned is to, having a goal in mind, having that goal and working toward it and then reaching that goal is an amazing feeling.
Yeah.
So I've kind of learned to set goals now and achieve those goals short-term and long-term. So there's just been a lot of things I've learned about myself in this process, and things that I've changed, because of it. So it's been an amazing experience. It hasn't been easy. It's been, a lot of work, a lot of time commitment to it. But what I've learned is priceless. It just has been life-changing for me.
So so you went to the doctor and that day you changed your everything. And so how long between that time and when you got on that stage? What was the time span?
So my first show was last year. So
your first show?
Yeah, my first show was last year.
You've done more than one show.
Yeah. So last year was my first show. And then I did a show 3 weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago. I did one, and then I'm doing another one in 2 weeks. So yeah, I know it's kind of addicting, but when you work that hard, you're like, well, shoot, I'm gonna, and I actually, my last show I just did 3 weeks ago, I earned my pro card. So I'm considered for, so NFF is the federation. That's the word I was looking for. Okay. So NFF was the federation I did my show in. So I earned my pro card for that federation, which is kind of a big deal, So yeah, I was not expecting that for my second show. So that was kind of like a huge surprise.
So these shows that you do, they're live. They're not online. Right.
Yeah, they'll stream them online. But you're there on stage in front of people and judges in person. Yep.
And then are you competing against other menopausal women?
Well, the last show where I earned my pro card, no, they did not have a 50 plus category. I was in 35 plus, and I beat women probably 20 plus years younger than me. So I am proud about that.
That is so exciting.
Yeah. So yeah, that was like, cause it's kind of hard. That's a big gap, and your bodies are so much different, but my physique with the muscle I've been able to put on and the conditioning I was in, there were girls 20 plus years younger than me, and so.
Oh my gosh, your trainer must be so happy.
Yeah.
And she was an online trainer, right? She just taught you online how to do this.
Yep. So exactly. So like I said, I check in with her every week, and then with pictures, measurements, and my weight. And then she will adjust my nutrition or my macros based on my progress or where I'm at, and then adjust things. And she changes out my workouts every 4 weeks. She's been phenomenal. She has just been, I got very lucky because she was the first one I talked to, and it just felt right. And it's just worked out really well. I was to say, she didn't just tell me, she taught me. So I've learned a lot from her. And I think that's the biggest thing when you're getting a coach, is to find someone that will educate you. And so that if you went on your own, if you said, well, I can't afford this anymore, I feel like I could do this, you have that knowledge to take on your own and do it by yourself. Some coaches just like spoon feed you. Here's a menu, follow this. Here are the workout. She's not like that at all. She educated me, answered any question I had. If I had concern, she was there. She encouraged me if like I gained weight or if I felt like I wasn't making progress. She's just phenomenal. I've been really blessed to have her in my life, because she's, a pretty key person in my life right now. So.
Oh, what a great story. So she taught you about macros. Can you tell us what macros are?
Sure. So when you track macros, you're tracking the amount of carbs, protein, and fat you're eating. So you can just count calories and say, all right, I'm going to eat 1,500 calories in a day. Well, you just eat whatever you want until you reach the 1,500 calories, right? So you could be eating half of the food you're eating could be carbs and maybe a little bit of fat and a little bit of protein. Well, macros, when you count macros, your macros, so the protein, fat, and carbs are, you're given certain percentages based on your goals. So you might eat 40% carbs, 30% protein, and then the rest fat. So you have to count, or you have to track how much protein you're eating and how much fat you're eating and how much carbs you're eating. So it's more detailed than just counting calories. Does that make sense?
Like
That's kind of the easy way. Yeah. It is more complicated. But once you get the hang of it, it's actually pretty easy to do once you know what your macro breakdown is. Yeah. And then you learn what certain foods have more protein, fat, and carbs in them. So, and the beauty of counting macros is there's nothing really off limits. So I don't eliminate food groups. I eat carbs, I eat my protein, and I eat my fat. And I eat up, like right now, because I'm preparing for my next show, I'm eating, I think, 140 grams of carbs a day. I couldn't live without my carbs.
Yeah, I know.
I just can't.
I've tried to do that before. Nope. Yeah, I'm pretty balanced. Yeah. And I am on an eating schedule. I plan all my eating in advance. I've been doing it for decades and it keeps my weight the same. I mean, I'm the same. I weigh the same as I did when I was in my early 20s. So because I have this plan of, I mean, sometimes it gets a little boring to others. I mean, they go, God, how can you eat the same thing every day? But it works and it's tasty. It's all tasty. It's not like lettuce and carrots and celery. Ugh, it's pretty balanced. So do you do something like that?
Exactly. That's exactly what I do. I eat 5 to 6 meals a day because I'm hypoglycemic and I find that it helps keep me stabilized throughout the day. So I'm eating about every about 2.5 hours. And people are like, how can you eat that much or that many times a day? And I'm like, but I have food meal prep. So I have food in the fridge at all times.
Yeah, because you make less decisions. Exactly. That's one less decision you have to make.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm the type of person, when I get hungry, I have to eat.
Right, me too.
And so if I don't have food in the fridge, healthy food in the fridge to eat, I'm going to grab cereal. I'm going to grab toast, whatever the quickest thing I can get my hands on, which is usually not the healthiest choice.
Right.
But if I have food in the fridge, I come home, I do weigh my food too right now at this point because I'm in a bodybuilding show. I do that, but I pull my scale out, I put a bowl on there. I weigh my protein, I weigh my fat, and I weigh my vegetables, stick it in the microwave, and I'm ready to eat in like 5 minutes.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And like you, I have to plan ahead my meals so that they are balanced, because if I don't do that, I found at the end of the day, I've got like 15 grams of fat and all this protein and no carbs. So it's a balancing, and it really, like you, I eat the same things. But the food I eat I make it delicious.
Yes, exactly.
I add a lot of flavor to my food.
Yeah. And then do you bring snacks wherever you go? If you're out of the house, like I bring water, I bring all kinds of, I bring a fan, I bring my sunglasses, I bring my inhaler, I bring a snack. I mean, I am prepared wherever I go. If I'm without a snack, I'm just like, oh no, I don't want to have to go to a fast food place and grab something. No way.
Well, one, because of my hypoglycemia, I have to have something in my purse, but I like to go to Starbucks to work. So I'll pack, like yesterday, I packed a half of a turkey sandwich, some Quest protein chips, and a protein bar, so that if I got hungry, I could grab what I brought and not what's in the Starbucks case.
Yeah. Do you, when you're at Starbucks, do you get a coffee?
I have to watch my caffeine intake because caffeine makes me jittery, and it like almost mimics like I'm hungry and I feel like I have to eat. So I'll do like decaf tea or coffee.
Yeah.
While I'm at Starbucks. Yeah. So
their peach tranquility is really good.
That's the one I get.
Wow, we have a lot in common.
Yeah.
So do you ever follow any bodybuilders? Are there any that you like that you follow?
You know what I do is on it, like for motivation and for inspiration, I try to find people on Instagram. I follow so many people, men and women, that are into health and weightlifting, because I get a lot of ideas and a lot of inspiration from them. So I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. There's one younger girl that I follow on YouTube. Her name is Simply Mander, and I like her because of her food ideas. I get a lot of inspiration for my meals and for my meal prep by watching people, on Instagram or on YouTube. It just helps come up with ideas, and gives me some inspiration on foods to prepare.
Yeah, sometimes we run out of ideas.
Yes. And I like to change it up. So I work in education, so I have summers off. So when it's during the summertime, I get to be a little more creative, and I have a little more time to play with food and eat different meals. But when I'm working, it's very simple. I keep it very simple because, like I said, I eat frequently. I will make my meals more simple and things that I can pack easily, and take it to whatever school I'm working at.
Yeah.
So I like the summers because I get to play a little bit more with my food.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's the things like that. That's another thing too. When I was losing weight, is to keep things simple. Don't feel like you said, don't feel like your meals have to be these elaborate meals that you have to spend hours on. They can be very simple, but still flavorful, the less you have to think about, the better.
Yes, I totally agree with that. So when do you work out, and how long do you work out?
Oh gosh. I try to work out. So during the summer, I like to work out in the mornings. When I'm working, it's usually after school, after I'm done working. So when I am not preparing for a show, like on a regular normal day, I spend an hour and a half in the gym, maybe lifting weights. A majority of what I do is lifting weights, and I might do 15, 20 minutes of cardio, and that's it. I avoid cardio like the plague because I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. When I'm preparing for a show, that's a completely different thing. On a normal, like if I'm off and just my normal day to day, it's about an hour to an hour and a half, about 5 days a week is usually what I have two days of rest. I try to walk or do something active on those days that I'm off, just to keep things moving, but weightlifting is where it's at. I think that's what's changed my physique so much, is just lifting weights. It really sculpts your body, and it makes a huge difference. And cardio, if you enjoy cardio, go for it. I don't enjoy it. So my coach, she will create workouts for me where I'll do like intervals, where I'll lift some weights, or I'll run in place, or I'll jump rope, and then I lift some weights, jumps, so she adds that kind of stuff into my workout. So it makes it a little more interesting.
Yeah, you have a lot of variety there.
Yes, I do. I have to have variety. So my workouts change every 4 weeks, which is nice. So if I'm doing my 15 minutes of cardio, I'll change it up. Treadmill, climber, rowing machine. but I don't spend a lot of time on those the cardio machines.
Your bones must love you, because that's what helps your bone health, is lifting weights.
Yes. And I've had DEXA scans because to check my body fat percentage, and my bones are great. They're like above average for my age.
Did you have a bone scan before you did all this and then do it after to see if it improved?
You know what? No, I did. I never had a DEXA scan. I know that would have been really interesting to see the difference. Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm above average for my bone density, which is good.
That's incredible.
So
when you're getting ready for a show, how long do you work out? 4 or 5 hours a day?
No, probably about 2 hours, so it adds maybe a half an hour to my workout, 2 to 2.5 hours. I only work out once a day. I go in, I get it done. I like to do it in the morning so it gets out of the way, but I do have to do more cardio when I'm preparing for a show. It depends on my progress and where I'm at, but sometimes I'll have to go in the morning and do like a half hour cardio in the morning and then do my regular workout plus a little bit of more cardio in the afternoon. So it's more involved when I'm preparing for a bodybuilding show, just because you have to get your body fat so low.
Yeah.
So
you've gotten your body fat tested. Do you know what percentage you are?
When I went for my last one, was right before my last show, I was at about 14% body fat. However, I know, he says because my carbs were cut back quite a bit, he says if I had eaten a little more carbs, my body fat might have showed up even a little bit lower than that. So yeah, when you are doing a bodybuilding show, and it's not healthy to be at that body fat for very long.
Yes.
So it's like once my shows are over, then she starts reversing me and I start gradually increasing my calories so I can bring that back up quickly. Not quickly, but so I'm not at that body fat for too long.
How high do you want your body fat to be?
You know what? It's based on looks. I think how I look. I'm not sure what my body fat was before. I don't know. I think 20% maybe. I don't even know if that's too low or not for my age and height. So
it sounds a little bit low to me.
Yeah, 20% still. Yeah. And that's the thing. I've never gotten one after a show, but I've always brought my weight up, in a healthy way, so that I put too much weight at one time, because if after you've dropped your body fat, if you just go back to your regular eating, your weight can come back really quickly and it's not healthy. That's another thing I love about my coach is she's very, very careful, and she takes you through the entire process from beginning to the end and then reverses you back up. So you're back up to your healthy weight. She takes really good care of her clients.
It sounds like it. Do you ever stand on a scale?
Yes, but it's been hard. It is really hard, but I've learned a lot of how the scale works, because our body weight fluctuates 5 pounds. And that could be like, when I'm not preparing for a bodybuilding show, I get a weekly treat meal. So I get to go out and have 1 to 2 treat meals a week, depending on what's going on. But I'll go out and have a hamburger or I have pizza, something that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
And I know to stay away from the scale after that.
Well, of course.
Because the carbs and the salt makes you, gain weight. But before I knew that, that would have freaked me out. That would have been like, how did I gain so much weight? And then I would punish myself by not eating enough, eating less and exercising more or doing cardio, extra cardio.
Yeah.
But I don't do that anymore because I know better now. And that's just the way your weight's going to fluctuate, depending on how much water you've had,
yes,
what you've eaten. When I'm at the gym, I try to drink at least a half a gallon while I'm working out. So
yeah, that's great. I am a big, huge water drinker. And that's also what's probably kept my weight. I only weigh like 120. And I've been like that forever. And I think that's what really helps. And sometimes it'll go up to 122, 123. And then I'm like, oh, I better drink some more water. And I drink more water and then it goes back down. It's a really, it's free. And it's such a great secret that and easy to do. As long as you like water. I mean, I like water. I mean, it's not my favorite, but you know, it does the job and it keeps me hydrated.
Yes, that's exactly right. I feel better when I drink more water. You know, and there are days, excuse me, that I don't get as much in as that I should. The next day I just drink, you know, a little bit more. But and that's the thing, I have to have it in a container in front of me because it's easy to forget when I'm running around or I'm doing, you know, stuff around the house. I have actually things around the house, like I'll have a water jug in one room and another water jug, you know, because out of sight, out of mind for me. So having that reminder helps.
That's good advice.
Yeah. And I have a 1/2 gallon water jug that I got. I can't remember where I got, but it's my gym water jug and it's a 1/2 gallon. So I know exactly, I try to get that down before I'm done with my workout.
That's great. So what do your family and friends think of this? Did you tell them what you were doing or did you just walk in one day and surprise people you hadn't seen in a while and they're like, who are you?
My family has been nothing but supportive. My husband, you know, supports me 100%. And so do my kids. They like to tell everybody that their mother's a bodybuilder.
Oh yeah, I would too.
But they're very supportive. What I've done is I've kind of documented my journey on my Instagram account. You know, so my friends follow me, you know, and have seen that as I've, you know, done my journey. And I like to share what I'm doing. You know, I like to always share what I'm, you know, what I'm eating or how I'm working out or what things that help me, you know, to keep going. So I think most of my friends have watched that either through Facebook or through Instagram.
Yeah.
So keeping tabs on what I'm up to.
So during your journey, did you face any major obstacles?
You know what? The biggest, I'm going to keep saying it, the biggest thing I've learned, there's so many things that I've learned.
Tell us.
Is that I've realized it's not easy. It's, you know, when you trying to lose weight, when you're trying to be healthy, every day you have to be thinking about that. Thinking about making those better choices, thinking about working out. And I find that I thought it would get easier, but it hasn't really, you know what I'm saying? Like there have been things that have gotten easier, and that's the food I eat, you know, what I can eat and making certain dishes that I know I like that are healthy. But it's every day is sometimes it's harder than other days as far as making the right choice of what I want to eat. I might want a crumble cookie one day, but I have to tell myself, okay, I can wait until Friday, which is usually my treat day, and push that out of my mind and say, okay, that's for Friday. I have to be eating. I have to eat to reach my goals, you know? So it's not, I mean, other than that, I can't think of any major obstacles other than just getting over those plateaus and keeping going and just keep going, you know? And when I mess up, I get myself back up again, because I have messed up more than I can name. There, you know, where I've eaten way off of my plan, and I indulged a little bit more than I should have, where in the past, if I had done that, I said, oh, I've messed up. You know what? I'm just going to start Monday,
right.
Or I'm just going to start after the holiday. No more. That I stopped. So if I have a bad day, which I have had, and I will have, it's just life. I get right back on it. My next meal. There's no waiting until tomorrow or Monday or the next. It's immediately. I just say, okay, I messed up. It's done. It's over with. And I move on. There's no extra cardio. There's no starving myself. there's no waiting until the next day or Monday. I get on it and I'm back on it. And I think that has been another key thing that has helped me reach my goal, is I've just been consistent.
And you've allowed it.
So
you allowed it and you enjoyed it, and that's okay.
Yes.
You go right back. I've done the same thing, but it's okay. We allow things, life, sometimes we want our tasty treat.
I have a big sweet tooth, and that's another reason that I love macros is if I want a treat, I can work it into my macros. It just means the rest of the day I have to work around that, and so I might eat more carbs because I wanted some cookies, but that just means I eat less carbs at the rest of the day, so it's flexible. It's called flexible eating because you can eat those things that you love so much. If you need it, and some days I need it more than others. And sometimes I can wait until Friday, until my treat meal. It just depends on what's going on in life and what I'm facing and stress and that kind of stuff.
You're very disciplined.
And I learned about myself. I can be very disciplined. Yes, I can be. And that's like I said, that confidence, knowing I am in control. Whereas before I didn't feel like I was in control. I let the food control me. Yes. But now I know I am in control. It really is a mind game. It really is like you're building your muscles, you're building your brain muscles, that I have control of my eating and I have control of what I do. And so yeah, I'm very disciplined, and before I never thought I was, because I was so heavy. I can't do this. I have no control, because I was so heavy, and I would just eat. But through the whole process, I learned I am strong, I'm disciplined, and, I can do whatever I put my mind to. So
yeah, it sounds like you live a very intentional life now.
Yes, because I feel like if I don't make these changes, that's just going to shorten my life. And, I'm 54. I have, most of my life has been lived, but I want to take what I have left and live it to the fullest, and the only way I can do that is to be healthy and to work out and to lift weights and just, to be strong as long as I can.
Yeah. You're a great example to your family.
Yes. My husband, he's very supportive of each other. So, we help each other along, and he pushes me and I push him. So it works out good. And we always said, we have goals when we retire. And part of that was, working out and staying healthy so we can travel and, do those things together.
Do you cook the same foods for your family, or do you cook totally different meals, or do they just help themselves?
I try to keep things like both of my kids are out of the house. My daughter's lives in Nebraska, and my son is in school. He's home right now, and he pretty much eats what he wants to eat. He's usually out with his friends, so I rarely cook for him, but I try to have things in the refrigerator that both my husband and I both like. So sometimes he's not a huge fan, and he'll usually make something on his own, but I try to have things that we both will eat in the fridge so that we can both enjoy.
So do you think that you will continue with the bodybuilding for years to come?
I'm going to take it year by year. Once I'm done with this show, I will start reverse dieting, putting more body fat on, but I want to build more muscle. So I start to eat for that, which means I have to eat more in order to build that muscle. So which means I will put on a little bit of more weight, but in a very controlled manner, because you have to eat in a surplus in order to build muscle on your body. And so I'll do that and see how it goes. If there's a show coming up, probably next spring, summertime, I'm just going to take it year by year and see, because it's a lot of work. It's a process to go, I started in November for this show. So I've been slowly decreasing since last November to get to this point. So it's quite a process, but I want to build muscle. My body fat's pretty low. It is pretty low. But what comes with that though is loose skin. I do have that loose skin from, I had some because of the weight gain, the weight I had, but it's, I just try to, keep my arms down and my stomach tucked in, and I'm good to go. It's not too bad, but yeah.
I bet it's, I mean, the pictures I saw of you with your arms, they look great.
Yes. Luckily the skin is underneath my arms. And here's a trick that they don't, I did not learn this until I got into bodybuilding. You have to glue your body, your your bikini on. So when they do that, they can tuck skin around and glue your suit on. Yes, I know. Hey, it's the cheapest tummy tuck you'll ever have.
Oh my gosh, really? That can be done? Oh,
it kind of helps prevent any malfunctions while you're on stage, any wardrobe malfunctions. And it keeps things nice and tight and taut.
That'd be awful if somehow you're on the stage and it got loose. Like, what's that? Where did that come from?
Yeah, make sure it's glued on really tight. Yeah. So that's kind of a trick that they do. So the tanner helps too. So a tan will always make things better.
Yeah. Can people get rid of their bat wings at this age?
It depends. Yeah. At this age, I expect mine to not, like, my plan is to fill them with muscle. So I'm continually, will continue to build muscle and hopefully decrease that. But I think at a certain point, once we reach a certain age, that elasticity kind of decreases. But definitely if you have them because of body fat, decreasing body fat would help. The issue I'm having, like I said, is with some loose skin, because I tend to carry my weight in my upper body. So most of my weight was in my abdomen, my back, and my arms. So I'm just accepted that, I'll have them for the rest of my life. But you know what? I try to just accept it and build muscle, and, I'm okay with it.
Wow. I mean, the pictures looked incredible, and great taping job, because you can't tell anything.
Thank you.
I mean,
yeah, they're pros at it. I let the tanning people do that.
Gosh, can they come to my house? Call those people over here right now.
You can buy bikini glue on Amazon if anyone's interested.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me, what's it called again?
Yeah.
What's the glue called again?
There's different. It's called Bikini Bite, and there's different brands though. But I think that's the one that they use at the bodybuilding shows.
Okay, so if me or other people want to go out in public, we can buy some of this and we can tape it all in and look fantastic, and then put some self tanner on.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh, thanks for the tip. I should put that in the show notes. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I love what you've done. This is just the best story ever. And that you said that menopause is not the end. That's fantastic.
Yeah. And everyone experiences it differently. But I kind of think sometimes, like, I think women, when they get to our age and they hit menopause, they give up. They feel like that's all I've ever heard. That's all I ever heard was menopause, this terrible thing, but it's not. You're never too old to start to change yourself, to transform your health, to turn things around. There's a lady on YouTube, on Instagram, Joan Mcdonald. She's 75. She started in her 70s, and the woman looks phenomenal. She is my inspiration to keep going. She just looks phenomenal because her daughter is a bodybuilder. And so her transformation, and the lady, she looks wonderful. And she's in her I think she's 75 now, but she looks great.
And she started in her 70s.
She started in her 70s. Yep. Yeah. Joan Mcdonald. If you look her up on YouTube, you could see her transformation and what she looks like now.
Joan
She looks
Mcdonald.
just phenomenal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Where can people find you?
I am on Instagram. I like to put, like, what I'll do is I post about my journey. I'll post food, like examples of my meals. My Instagram is at Tami, Tamiaz for Arizona. And that's my Instagram account. Yeah.
Okay. And I'll include that in the show notes. Are you on Facebook? Are you on anything else where people can find
I am
you?
on Facebook, just under Tami Adkison.
Okay.
I am not on Twitter. And I think I sent you a Twitter account. I'm like, why did I send her a Twitter account? I'm not even on Twitter.
You just made up a name and just said, here, try this.
Well, I said Tami AZ on Twitter. No, it's Tami AZ on Instagram. Yeah. So I do Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
So.
Well, I'll include everything except for Twitter in the show notes. I'll put Twitter, but you're not going to find her there.
No, I don't tweet.
Yeah. I mean, you can only do so much, especially with your bodybuilding schedule.
Yeah. I find that I don't watch a whole lot of TV anymore. I like to read,
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah. And I like YouTube, like just because I learned, about recipes and stuff like that. So I think I'd watch more YouTube than I do regular television. It's the way I kind of relax before I go to bed. So
that's what I was going to ask you. Is your sleep better?
I think it's better than it would have been if, if I was heavier. I do have some issues with insomnia due to, I think, menopause and age. So I try to get as much sleep as I can. I try to go to bed by 9 because usually I'm up, early because of that. But sleep for me is a little bit here and there, So I try to get as much sleep as I can because it's important for your body to heal and, recover and stuff. So.
And do you ever get hot?
Hot flashes?
Mm-hmm. Yes, because I do. It's when I'm trying to sleep. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so hot in here. And I've said this on other podcasts. I've got the AC on, I've got the window open and the ceiling fan on, and I'm still hot. So that's the only thing I experienced during menopause is just being hot for many years now. And sometimes I can't sleep, but that's it. That's the only thing that I've had during menopause.
I do have, I had more hot flashes before. Those have kind of subsided. And I do get night sweats sometimes, but not consistently, but I do get them. And I have to have a fan on, one leg out, sheet on, and,
Yep. Always the one leg out trick. And then, and then you get freezing, and then you have to cover up your whole body because the one leg out may be cold. Yeah.
Exactly.
So is there anything that I didn't ask you that you would like to share?
No, I think you pretty much covered it. I mean, I think the biggest thing is, that helped me is just the consistency, the nutrition, and just being patient. It's not going to come off. We don't gain weight overnight, in a week or two. It's something that happens gradually. And so that's another thing I had to learn to do is to be patient, and understand that this is a journey. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint, and that, I'm going to mess up, and it's not a linear process. It's literally not a linear process. You have your ups and your downs. And the thing is just to never give up and just be consistent. Yeah. And, that's the biggest thing, I think. But yeah.
I love it. What a good message. Well, thank you for coming today and inspiring us all. That was great. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. I was excited. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, I'll let you go now. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too. And enjoy your weekend.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.